Doris, if you interview Danny, you really can't get too much out of him. So I'm not
You
even
don't get
going to
any
try
answers.
here.
Yeah, you don't get any answers. I'll give you a breakdown, but you won't get any predictions or any answers. I just, give you vague and non-specific things without giving away the game plan. He tries to get the game plan. I'm not going to give you the game plan. So.
It never happens. It never happens. But Doris, what's your take on this Western Conference Finals?
If you had asked me for some descriptors of the Denver Nuggets coming to Orlando, the descriptors I would not have used were probably gritty and tough. And I think Danny, having been a part of multiple teams' championship runs, knows the kind of grit and perseverance and navigating the ups and downs of series and not overreacting to success or failure. And having been a part of that series a year ago where they lost to Portland in the finals, and watching Jamal Murray have to be taken out of the game because Portland was taking their guards and inverting them and beating Jamal Murray up on the post. And then to see the pride that young man took in his game, to say, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be removed from a game because I'm the sieve. I just feel like there's been incredible progress from this team. Like, we knew how good they were offensively. We knew that down the stretch of games, they were going to the Murray-Jokic two-man game and all the different angles of, the handoffs and the screens, and sometimes Jamal screening for Nikola. So I touched Jamal, like Jokic. I had said to somebody, and it's one of the guys who covers the Denver Nuggets. Might have been Adam Modis or something, but I remember saying to him, Jokic seems completely unimpressed by the NBA lifestyle. And he said, not only is he unimpressed, he's uninterested. Like, I don't even think he knows what it is. Like, there's just this sort of, I don't know, just innocent joyfulness in the game. And maybe because he comes from another country, I don't know. I'm impressed by their depth. I'm impressed by their toughness. But they've got a monster challenge. Like, you're talking about LeBron James, and I can't ignore the history of what I've watched over the last decade plus.
Locked in and said, this task ahead, this team is serious, and I respect them. They're very good. We're impressed by their resiliency. They've just been very good at what they've done and how they've come back and how persistent they've been, and just their toughness, like you said, their grit. This is a serious team. They're very good and young, and they get up and down, and we have to be very smart and take this serious and be very focused for, the whole time period every game that we step on the floor with them.
Yeah, and it's just, one other question for you, because it's just so fascinating to me. And because of where I am in the bubble, I don't have direct access to you guys to be asking these kinds of questions. But, as it relates to particular moments that could occur in a series, there's the moment where Paul Millsap and, Mr. Morris come together, mm-hmm. and it's highly intense. And is it possible? And there are so many moments, little, small, big, whatever, a million, right? Like, think about the game-saving block of Bam last night that was so outrageously good. But like a moment like that, for fans and even for media, like, how significant could a moment like that be to changing the fundamental feel, even temporarily, that leads to longer stretches of success? Like, how big a deal could a play like that be in a series?
Huge. That could set the tone for the rest of that game, and it could change a player's mindset and the opposing team's mindset for that series. Especially, it's a little different now, so without fans. And I think that's one of the things that dictates and changes some of the momentum of how things go in this bubble. But a play like that, so just certain guys taking a stand or putting their foot down and taking a step up or showing their edge and grit, puts the whole team in that type of mode. And you know what? Some guys are saying, we're not taking no crap tonight. This is where we at, and this guy's setting the tone. And that could change the whole momentum, the whole mindset of a team or a series within that moment. So it's huge. And it'd be interesting to see, like, how different it would be, obviously with fans, but now how different it is without fans. You're seeing some of the downfalls and disadvantages. There really is no home court advantage, and the home teams or the higher seeds don't really have that advantage, because even though you have the background virtual noise at your home crowd, the opposing team doesn't hear that. It doesn't really sway the momentum like that. You wouldn't see Milwaukee losing their first two games at home, in that type of scenario. Clips the same. If they're playing one of those games at home, especially in a game 7 at home. Most times that home team doesn't lose a game 7. So that type of thing can determine or sway instead of a whole game, a whole series.
Great point.